from Tuesday's epic night of action, we stumble into Thursday, set to continue that high atmosphere. We've got a championship main event, as well as some big old bouts to build up into it. Strap on in. We're in for one hell of a ride here tonight on Breakdown.
Better call somebody.
Welcome to the first matchup here tonight. And we're kicking it off doggy style.
You damn right.
It's that D-O-double-G and the badass Billy. Winning in their debut, they're here again tonight to put the smackdowneth on their opponents.
Cut the music. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, D-Generation X proudly brings to you the Road Dogg Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaw. And of course, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
Suck it, bitches. A minute's passed, I can start swearing, but welcome into our opener tonight. The Outlaws victorious, as I say, in their debut against Fraxium. Now they're going to war as the competition steps up here on Breakdown. It's Eric and Ivar are ready to enter the battlefield.
Accompanied by Valhalla at a combined weight of 552 pounds. Ivar and Eric, the War Raiders.
Arguably a well-skilled unit. They know how to utilize their size and their bodies to effectively attack, maim, and brutalize their opponents. Eric and Ivar together form the War Raiders, along with their manager in Valhalla. A very brash style of wrestling. At one point, close contenders towards the championships here in the men's tag team division. But tonight, the eyes are kind of on the Outlaws, who are making their second matchup here in IPW. And as a unit, obviously, they're looking to go on the up and up. A tough test here, obviously, for them, as Eric and Ivar, very solid team as well. Here's some of that cohesiveness. A big knee connecting onto the badass. And it's interesting, I've only recently watched this. In fact, I say recently, last night and tonight, I watched Billy Gunn's kind of transformation and betrayal of the Honky Tonk Man to join up with the Road Dogg. And It's such a different style. And when they joined up then, you didn't think that they would be one of the most accomplished teams in pro wrestling. So many titles on Jesse James and Billy Gunn in WWE. Able to net themselves some heavy accomplishments there. Obviously inducted into the Hall of Fame, a part of DX. James and Gunn know realistically how to work together as a unit. They've done it for so goddamn long that it isn't. They are one of the greatest tag teams ever. And you look at some of the teams in IPW that you could maybe put on that similar pedestal. You've got the likes of the Usos, the New Day. Two teams that just recently challenged for, well, faced off for the tag belts. The Team 3D, the inaugural tag champs. We discussed them on Tuesday night and the records that they have accomplished. Again, that was recently I learned about how much the Dudleys won in their career. Anyway, focusing in on this matchup, it's two teams with a lot of world championships combined. You have to think Ivar and Eric wanting to maybe reach the level of the New Age Outlaws with how well they did is, well, right now, doing a decent number over Billy Gunn, who's now trying to take back some of the matchup. Getting caught there by Valhalla, though, is the badass. Now going to be sent running into War Raiders territory. There's the tag. Ivar sets up the big knee lariat combination. And Eric now into the bout to unleash havoc onto the badass. Billy rolling out here. Biding his time, trying to recuperate. Get back into the battle. Realizing that, obviously, you can't lose the matchup out here. Something that we came to know, a place that you can lose the matchup is the outside. Main and co-main event recipients of that fate on Saturday at Resolve. And tonight, well, we're going to resolve them issues. Big Solo Sikoa. Put some unique stipulations on them bouts. Falls count anywhere for the big championship, the Sapphire belt, and for the tag team opener, the open challenge that Green and Niven put down on Resolve. Well, it is going to be a tornado tag match here tonight. The Bella Twins and Green and Niven do battle in the co-main event. This first of many tag bouts, I guess, tonight here on Breakdown. And we're starting off in an electric fashion. Road Dogg getting his first taste of action in the ring and starting to do some work here over Ivar. A nice drop kick into the back. Putting some damage onto that spine of Ivar. And now going to be caught, sent running into New Age Outlaws territory. Ivar content. He doesn't mind being there if he is controlling the opponent, which he is, but maybe for not that much longer, as Road Dogg fires back a couple of shots. Ivar gonna get clobbered again. Pinfall attempt here by the Road Dogg. Into the pin. Only nets to one, but Ivar is forced to make a kick out, and there's that spinning heel kick. Trying to take the skull off of Jesse James. Goes for the pin right now. Only gets one. Remember, it was Billy who really absorbed the punishment early. So the Road Dogg fairly fresh, all things considered. Pinfall attempt again, this time by the Road Dogg. Really just trying to wear the big man down, but there's a DDT. Catching off guard the DX member, who's now sent into the corner. Ivar not going to opt to tag out. Instead, gets caught in the corner. Big knee from the Road Dogg. And he's going to bust open Ivar with the turnbuckle. Takes him up top and brings him down. He's going to look for the pin again. A lot of frequent pins here by Jesse James. Realizing he needs to really shut Ivar down before it gets too late. And Ivar's going to deliver some big maneuvers like this. Rikishi driver. Plants him into the mat. Down for the count. One. And there's a kick out forced there by the badass. He sticks his neck out for his partner. Road Dogg needs to get out the corner here as well. Pop up. Power slam. Ivar connects. As Eric setting up. Caught though. Had to wait a little bit there before he could launch that attack. Due to the fact that Ivar got in the way, but this is D-Generation X and New Age Outlaws on attack. Pile driver spiked into the mat. Puts him down. Gun into the cover. Only gets a 2. Needs a little more here, but Eric taking the brunt of the damage so far. Up in the air. Brought down jackhammer. Massive maneuver out from the badass. Known for the power. Known for being the force of the New Age Outlaws. And I think he's going to spike him yet again. The neck of Eric in tatters, as here's the pin. A count of 2. Almost gets the 3, but the War Raiders surviving. Road Dogg, he's jiving. As he now sets up the kick. Pump, handle, slam. Down is Eric into the pin. And that's not it. Wow, I'm actually surprised. It felt like that would have been the closing remark of this matchup, but still needs a little more. Eric gonna send the dog running into the doghouse. Tag out. As Ivar back into the matchup. Gonna punish the dog here. A nice German. Mr. Jane crawling. Trying to make it. Does do so. And the big boys are in the ring. But there's a spinning heel kick. And only one of them is standing. The splash comes through. Ivar crushing the badass. Now going to work. Big shots. Big boots. Ivar known for being very limber in his size. He knows how to utilize it. And he does utilize it well here against Billy Gunn, but Gunn gets out of the ring, realizing the danger, senses he needs to bring in the partner, call in for the cavalry, and Road Dogg's gonna do the work. Drops the elbow and more of a senton type maneuver. Gun. Now legal. As Road Dogg brings him in, a big boot is how he's introduced back into the match. And we've seen a lot of good things out of the War Raiders, but as it stands right now, I'd say the Outlaws in control. Gunn gonna reverse the throw, and now he's gonna unload in enemy territory. He shoots his shots, and he's got a target down. Perfect position for the Road Dogg to strike. If they were quick enough for it. It was a little bit too slow. As now, Ivar back on the attack. That spinning heel kick once again. Road Dogg not staying down for it. And now just going to be clobbered. He's still standing back up quick. Realizes Ivar may not have that much left in the tank. He might as well keep on the attack. Shot after shot landing. Big pump into the sky. That Uranagi. Trademark Billy Gunn. The referee did, however, get taken out. Not to worry, because there's a famous plants down Ivar. The referee slowly recuperating, back to his feet. Billy hits the cutter. Down into the pin, finally. Slow count coming in from our official. Barely recuperating off of that heinous attack by Eric. But he is going to punish the Outlaws for some reason because of it. Regardless of that, New Age Outlaws doing a lot of good here. Punishing the War Raiders. There's a whip on the dog. In comes Eric. Freshest man, but this is a big maneuver. Clobbering Road Dogg with the lariat. Eyes on Billy, who's straight into the ring. He gets in, breaks it up. Well, perfect time. Perfect chance. Now a perfect opportunity for the Road Dogg to unload. And cork some heavy shots. Big maneuver there as Road Dogg plants Eric. This is where I have to say the Outlaws do their best work as the game or the match continues. They're able to net victories by wearing down the opponent. Great effect. Well, it's an effect that's resulted in the W going to them. And in the early matches, heavy shots landed from the War Raiders. They realized they needed to get the job done early. One big mistake, and that mistake was they just couldn't seal the deal. They didn't hit the big shot until quite late on. And by that time, Gunn and Dog had recuperated enough. They were able to basically kick out of anything. And thus, winners of the match, New Age Outlaws, maintaining their momentum here in IPW. Could this be the next potential threat for the Tag Team Championships? That is a question certainly on my mind right now. considering the fact that, well, they've beaten former #1 contender in the War Raiders.
Here are your winners, the Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws.
We'll see. But for now, they're victorious tonight. Will they find victory next week? We'll find out then, but we've got 5 more bouts on the card. Let's get to them right now. Well, this woman had an epic resolve, as you can see. Briefcase in hand. The winner of the Women's Resolve ladder match.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from Dublin, Ireland, the man, Becky Lynch.
Proudly walking to the ring. The winner of that massive matchup on Saturday. And well deserved of hoisting that briefcase. Gives her the opportunity to challenge whenever she likes the women's top belts here in IPW. But tonight, in singles action, up against someone who she's potentially not faced before in her career. Some call her a legend of the game.
And her opponent, representing Meta-4 from Atlanta, Georgia, Lash Legend.
Throw up them M's. Lash Legends in the house. Double L ready to fight here against big time Becky Lynch. This is interesting to say the least. Normally we see Lash competing alongside Jakara Jackson, form the Meta 2. But no, tonight doing it alone. And what a way to do it alone. You've got to go up against one of the hottest ladies right now in IPW, in Becky Lynch. Can she step up to the challenge, or is this a cakewalk for the last kicker? Let's get it underway here. And lashes out of the gates fast. Going for the early pin as well. But realistically, more of a mockery rather than an actual attempt to win at this stage, you have to feel. Just getting in your opponent's head, saying, hey, I can pin you whenever I like, and you cannot do anything about it. That is what Lash is kind of doing there by going for that pin. And now, starting to get to work here over the last kicker, Becky Lynch. The man. Is the tie-up, the power game, always going to favor Legend here. She gets the headlock applied and is slowly wrenching on it here. Nice takedown. Forces Becky into a more uncomfortable position. There's enough wrenching, enough pressure from this position. Could force a pin. Could keep Becky in a difficult situation. Lash not going to keep in that place. Goes and puts the knees to the skull. And is essentially going to just utilize the time garnered from it to gather her thoughts, reevaluate her attack. And now she's looking to fly, but Becky catches her. Game plan needs to be reassessed here. Lash not going to be able to hit the scoop slam. And now Becky connects. Kick to the gut, and Becky up, down, puts her down. Armbar applied here. Legend going to be forced to get out of it. Difficult situation already been put in, and that's Becky turning that same pinfall in the early match that Lash did in the face of Lash by putting her in a submission, saying, I can get you at any time I like, sweet cheeks. Anyway, Lash just going to pop Becky in the air, force her to have a massive crash landing into the mat, and it only nets to one. A lot of early pins here. This might now be less of that taunting game that I thought Lash was implying, and more of a novice sort of rookie mentality to try and just get the win as desperately as possible. Lash now on the receiving end of some signature Becky offense, who's got her now locked up. Figure 4 leg lock put in there. Becky relinquishes the hold. Now setting Lash up, but Lash going to avoid that shot. Come back with her own. Hooks Becky up. Takes her sky high. Brings her down with that stalling vertical suplex. Lash starting to offload some heavy pressure. Lynch arguably needs to absorb it. Legend, as we said, very much known for her power. Lynch, known for that more submissive game. There's a lariat from Becky, unloading this 2K comeback. And utilize it to get Lash in a difficult situation. This is wise from Becky. The tall frame of Lash, it's very easy for her to reach the ropes, and so create some separation, create that distance away from safety. Force Lash to actually kick out instead of just lazily putting her legs on the ropes. There's the big boots avoided as a crucifix bomb is the counter receipt from Becky. Lynch climbing sky high. Lash gets back up, but she's in the drop zone. And that's a 450 from Becky. Not something you typically see, but she connects, barely scraping the face of Lash. And you can see it didn't really get a full connection. And thus Lash is able to avoid it, but this she cannot avoid. Rolling through is Becky. Bridging over, turns it into the disarmer. Lash quite close to the ropes, but cannot get it. Instead, utilizing the power to escape the hold. Now she gets a hold of Becky. Brings her down. Argentine backbreaker. Not done yet. Hits the running splash. Becky caught a fired up Legend. Hooks her up. Choke. Slam. Sits her down and out. Gets a 2 off of it. Lynch not going to go down that easily. Lash heading up top. This is interesting for her. Hits the splash. Connects, but Becky quickly back up. Catches her. Arm hooked up. Goes for the roll up. The seatbelt locked in. Only gets a 2, but this manhandle slam clearly was the actual endgame. Pinfall attempt for Becky. Nets, no, not the victory just yet. Lash, we said, very inexperienced. Lynch can play possum, can set up 50 moves ahead. You've got to play chess more than anything in a wrestling match, is to predict what your opponent's aiming to do 5 steps down that road. Lynch, obviously very strategic, manipulative in her style, and what makes her a former champion and the current resolution case holder is because she's able to calculate. She's able to seize opportunities. And that's why he has that guaranteed title shot. It's why Liv Morgan and Fallon Henley are on watch, because Becky could come out of nowhere, steal the belt. And well, that's all she wrote for their title reign. Oh my word. Big time connection there. Lynch is setting up Lash for something more. Big pump kick though from Legend. Connects and down for the pin. Becky rocked here. Almost losing her this match. Lash though needs something else. The choke's locked up. Brings her down. The pinfall attempt. Is this enough? Becky's down. Gets that shoulder up in time. So resilient is Becky Lynch. It's very impressive to see how she works in the ring. She's very skilled in her style. Now Lash could be in trouble. Lynch calls her up, but not going to strike immediately. Instead, it's a double axe to the back. It's a precursor, maybe, for the ending. Manhandle slam connects. Becky into the pin. And there's no. It's not the win. A little more needed. Because Lash stays alive. That is kind of surprising. She's taken some heavy shots here from Lynch. Oh, I'm struggling to see what more Becky needs to do to put an end to this bout, because she's put in some heavy shots. Bridging over into the armbar this time. A lot more pressure. Not going to get the win just yet. Lash able to escape. Lash is able to capitalize. Massive uppercut and some clubbing shots on the boot. Busts open the resolution case holder. An epic performance here from Legend. But the match still going. Lynch catches her. Both women jockeying for position inside the ring. Legend gets caught. Becky baits her in, but Becky might have made a mistake. Caught now in the grasp of Legend. Legend just needed to have landed something there. Gonna be forced to pay, because Becky's put her in the corner. And Lynch, vicious with opportunities. Freight train that is Becky Lynch, set to come into station, maybe. There it is, clothesline. Now Lynch, again, the manhandle slam puts down Lash for the win. What the flipping heck? How much more is needed? Lash, I've got to commend her, tip my cap to her. I would have thought 2 manhandle slams ago this bout was over, but he's survived some big shots now. Rolling to the outside. Lynch, I'm struggling. I've already said I was struggling to see what she needed to put away Legend. This, one more manhandle slam, not enough. She needs something. Anything to put away Lash Legend. It's hard to believe, but this, off the top. A massive connection there with the choke slam. And Legend's not done. Hooks her up. White noise. Boom, pants her down. Drag her away from them ropes, Legend. And you are moments away from a career-defining victory. And she gets it. My word. The Resolution case holder met her match in the opening. What? I'm lost for words. Lash Legend stepped up to Becky Lynch and shut her down. I'm in disbelief more than anything right now, folks. This was probably the greatest women's bout I have seen in quite some time here in IPW. I'd say since the Lyra and Henley feud. But this, it was said to be a squash. All honesty, I thought Becky would wipe the floor with Lash Legend. I was proven wrong. Lash stepped up, delivered an epic performance. I've got to just say, what did that do for the rankings? If Resolve was all about rankings, Lash Legend just beat.
Here is your winner, Lash Legend.
She just beat a top-ranked female in the Ruby Belt division. This must put her in good stead for that championship. We will find out, because I need to just understand what the hell just happened. Well, my brain has finally come to terms with what has just happened. Hopefully, this matchup goes better for someone with some.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, representing the Alpha Academy from Superior, Wisconsin, weighing in at 330 pounds, one half of the undisputed mixed tag champions, Otis.
Before I was interrupted there, hopefully this bout goes better for someone with an accomplishment here in IPW, as well on half of the mixed tag champions is in action. And Otis, like Lash Legend, doing it alone. But his opponent has got a bit of a rebel heart. Honestly, I hate this version of the song. It needs to be the female one. This rebel heart. This rebel heart. Why do they only give it to him when he's in NXT? So annoying.
And his opponent, representing DIY from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 199 pounds, Johnny Gargano.
Obviously, tonight we had an interesting tag team bout between the New Age Outlaws and the War Raiders. Another premier team here on Breakdown is DIY. Gargano not bringing Ciampa out for this battle. He realizes he doesn't need him. Gargano, former NXT champion. A lot of accomplishments in his career. Now tonight, he gets to face one of the mixed tag champions, and this is interesting. DIY, Gargano and Ciampa do have that ability to bring in to the fray Candice LeRae. They could potentially go for both tag belts here in IPW and be a very prolific tag unit. Gargano gonna face off against the tag champion, or one of the mixed tag champions in Otis. And we say that Gargano could go for both belts. Another team that could potentially go for both belts is, well, the actual IPW Undisputed Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Big Jim and Naomi. A potential pairing there. If rumors are true, Jada Parker and Jey Uso could be a unit. That would be interesting to say the least. But out of that, we've also got the fact that Otis and Akira could go for the Undisputed Tag Belts. We could see a date with Destiny. The mixed tag and the tag team championships both on the line in one match. That'd be insane and probably would never happen. But there's also the fact that the Alpha Academy have the potential to hold all three tag belts. That would be nuts as well. With Dupree and Molly Holly, those two went towards the Undisputed Women's World Tag Team Championships back on primetime, competing together, losing out to the inevitable champions in Fatal Influence there. But as we turn our attention into this battle, a lot of technical wrestling here. What do you expect from Johnny Wrestling? This man, technical wrestling is his bread and butter. He utilizes his style to great effectiveness. And let's be honest, honed his craft on the indies. Arguably, I would say, very similar style to the likes of Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson. A man that IPW know and love as the inaugural IPW Undisputed World Heavyweight Champion. I've got to get my championship names right tonight. I'm all over the place, but regardless of that, Otis getting the better of this situation. Headlock applied. Gargano sitting down right now, but probably won't be for that much more time because Otis is going to flatten him, maybe. Well, he's certainly slingshotting that head across his body. Bit of whiplash. As Gargano hits that tornado DDT, he busts open Otis. Now going to fly, but cannot land on the target. The champion gets out of the way. And he's going to continue to maybe punish Gargano. Big belly to belly. Gargano suffering some damage here in the early goings of this battle. Otis fired up. A kick to the groin. Gonna send Gargano running. Pops him up into the power bomb. Into the pin as well. Gargano down for a 2. The champion starting to feel himself. But he can't connect here. Gargano escapes the fireman's carry. Gonna try and strike back, but Otis catches him again and brings him back up again. Powerbomb position. Gargano gets swirlied. Head hits the turnbuckle pretty hard there, and well, it's certainly tides in the favor of the Alpha Academy's Otis here. Gonna punish Gargano, tosses him off the top rope. Perched him up there. Now, gonna crush him. No, misses with the elbow. It's time for Johnny Wrestling to get it going. A lawn dart in the corner. The head of Otis hitting the middle turnbuckle. And you see that blood mark getting wider and wider down the temple of Otis here. Gargano only going to open it more. There's that Gargano kick. Connecting in this. Some call it a Motor City stretch. Others call it Mrs. Gargano escape. But the originator, Johnny Gargano, it's a Gargano escape. And Otis manages to escape and deliver some damage to repay the favor, busting him open. Both men have drawn blood in this matchup. For Otis, it is more of a test about see what level he's on. As for Gargano, it's a chance to maybe earn a title shot against the Alpha Academy. Swinging neck breaker there. DIY obviously would love to get their hands on a championship in the IPW. That's a super kick and a half from Gargano. Connecting on the skull of Otis. Followed up with a cutter. Johnny Wrestling destroying Otis right now. Big man just forced to absorb shots. There's a big one. Gargano just fluid with all his motion in the ring. Move like butter. And this is a second lawn dart planted into that turnbuckle and Otis. I'm amazed he's kicking out. If this was rugby, concussion protocol would have taken effect. Because Otis, he does not look to be in this. Spared from more punishment thanks to his foot being close to the bottom rope. To get that rope break, but Gargano, he's just going to keep going. Tornado DDT out the corner. Otis firing back. Pops him up. Backdrop. Sets him up again. Big spine buster. He plants Gargano down and now going to flatten him in the corner. Gargano falls flat on his back. And all aboard the choo-choo train. It's worm time. Oh, boom. The elbow's dropped. And into the pin he goes. Otis trying to get the win here. Gargano's down. Forces that shoulder up. But Otis isn't done. Gargano in trouble. Hooked up. Not going to hit the world's strongest slam. And now Gargano, no, not going to pick the ankle. Instead gets tossed. Otis has Gargano up. Brings him down, world's strongest slam. Into the pin. Gargano down and out. The champion nets the dub. And that was honestly a very impressive performance, to say the least, from Otis. I thought there were moments where Gargano just had him on the ropes. I felt concussion was the likely outcome of this battle for Otis. Big enough concussion that he may have had to relinquish the belts, but not going to be the case. He comes back firing on all cylinders. Brings in the worm. Seal the deal after that world's strongest slam. Gargano, you have to feel if he didn't, that one moment where Otis was too close to the ropes when he locked into Gargano escape. If he just pulled him away slightly, could that have been it? Could we have seen a potential mixed tag matchup in the future for Gargano? While it's certainly not out of the picture right now, a lot more work's going to be needed if he is to earn a title shot. But yes, a great performance here from the champ. As we see that worm once again. Otis did the job here. One and done with the world's strongest slams. Gargano could not kick out.
Here is your winner, Otis.
A fantastic performance here. As we say, who will step up to the champs though? That's something we need to find out. Well, this is certainly interesting. A man who's on a bit of a storm here in IPW.
Scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Dayton, Ohio, weighing in at 183 pounds, Wesley.
Picking up a fantabulous win against Mark Henry. In his debut, Wesley has risen to success. Looking to continue to climb the rankings here. I've been told Solo Sikoa has handpicked his opponent here. Someone that is a step up. But I've also been informed by him that Wesley's opponent is a step up, don't get me wrong. But he is making his debut here tonight on Breakdown. And that's the unique part of this. Solo Sikoa has signed the hottest free agent to Breakdown. And who could it be? Well, that's a Stark. I don't think it is.
From England, weighing in at 211 pounds, Zack Saban Jr.
But Zack Sabre Jr. certainly is the world's biggest free agent right now here. Arriving in Breakdown. The technical wrestling master. New Japan Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion. A man that I've seen wrestle live several times over. He did in probably my favorite match I've ever seen live. Well, tonight he gets to go up against Wesley, stretch him out a bit. It's gonna be a bit of an interesting bout as that high flyer takes on the technical wrestling masterclass that is Zack Sabre Jr. And when I say masterclass, this man will pick you apart, and he's already going to do so. Limb targeting aficionado. You think Bryan Danielson. You think Kurt Angle. Zack Sabre Jr. rides with those two as one of the best to ever do it. Expect submission-based offense coming out from ZSJ here. And unique submission offense. Also very cocky. Brash in his style. Targeting right now the arms of Wesley. Goes down. Oh, bridging up into the air. This is typical Zack Sabre Jr. Expect the cockiness. He is prolific also with his boots. Known for delivering a heavy PK. And while we are kind of breaking down his style, we've said that, well, Wesley picked up a pretty big, impressive win in his debut against Mark Henry. Could he continue to ride that momentum to beat Zack Sabre Jr.? Jr., who we know, obviously very, very great. As there's a bridging suplex out from Wesley. Lee continuing to keep pressure up. Big knee to the face there. Shining Wizard of sorts. Connects onto Junior and Sabre not going to stay down long. Again, back to targeting that arm. Wrenching on it and forcing Wesley into an uncomfortable state. He follows him outside. And, well, there's a head hitting the apron. Junior, or Sabre, keeps looking for the stomach attacks as well. Obviously known for an octopus hold. One of his more prolific submissions. He can really do some work here. And now targeting the limbs down on the bottom half of the body here. Figure 4 leg lock applied. Lee not going to tap. Instead, going to be forced into a pin. Sabre. Again. Limbs are being targeted. He slows the pace down so well. And going up against a guy like Wesley who wants to quicken the pace, this is certainly more beneficial for him. As now, bridging back, bow and arrow. Not going to turn it into a dragon. Now he is. Dragon Sleeper applied. Sabre putting the pressure on. Big boot connects, drops Wesley. He goes for another pin. This is just tactics from Junior, who's known for really just wearing you down. We've talked about it before, as there's the arm triangle locked in. Lee, will he tap out here? It's being wrenched on deep. Sabre gets the win. My word. I didn't expect it to come that quickly, but Zack Sabre Jr. impressive in his debut against that up-and-comer Wesley. Lee really did not get going. That one suplex was really it. And once he got put in that triangle, we said that Sabre's submission offense is pretty good. That was perfect.
Here's your winner, Zack Sabre Jr.
A solid debut here tonight for Zack Sabre Jr. As we've said for most of the matches, can he ride the momentum off this win? What championship is he challenging for? A date with Will Ospreay, maybe? We'll have to see in the near future. Well, tonight's show's certainly flown by, as we're already on to our co-main event. And this one's going to be a hot mess.
The following contest is a tornado tag team match. On the way to the ring, the team of Piper Niven and Chelsea Green.
Give some context as to why this matchup's happening. Simply put, as you may have heard last Thursday night, the show before Resolve, Green came out here, issued the open challenge for the Resolve opening matchup. And, well, when we went to the live event on Saturday, the Bella Twins answered the call. As the match went on, the referee began a count-out where all 4 ladies were outside the ring, battling non-stop. And thus, once the 10 count was reached, the match ended. And that is how we're in this situation. But this situation can get a little bit nicer.
And their opponents, Nick E. Bel-R and Britt Bel-R, Pretty Mean Sisters.
This match can get so much better because, well, we're guaranteed a winner tonight. That is the bonus. Tornado tag rules apply for our co-main event. And like it or not, that does mean that there are pinfall submissions. No countouts, thank God. No DQ. And with it, that means one of these 2 teams gets a W against their name. Both with that draw on Saturday, kind of lurking on their records. Obviously, the Bellas debuted on Saturday. They answered the call, and now they're going to have to answer the call that Solo Sikoa issued to them to finish this battle. Nikki going to eat a facebuster here from Niven. And something that I like about the Bellas comparative to how we see the Usos in IPW. Both wearing unique gear. I can tell them apart pretty easily. I also was a massive fan when I was younger of the Bellas in all their accomplishments, so I could tell Nikki and Brie apart straight away. Arguably my favorite tag team when I was younger. Favorite women's wrestlers when I was younger as well. There you have it. Back focusing on the action. Brie looking for the early win. Goes for the pin onto Niven as Nikki's working over pretty well. Chelsea Green here. Green's arm not going to be sacrificed. As there's the double knees to the back. Up over the top goes Brie, and this is looking very good for the Bella Twins right now. Niven and Green kind of accepting some punishment here in the early goings from both members of the Bella Twins. Now the action spills to the outside, and you can see our referee hasn't issued a count to either teams and is allowing this kendo stick to be slammed into Green with just no opposition to it. Nikki gonna slam it pretty heavily into Green, and then, well, she's gonna take out Niven. Well, for Brie to turn her attention to Green and deliver some nice shots here. Leg drop gonna be missed here though, as Green brings down Nikki, slams her head into the mat. The issue for Green is Niven's not been able to get going into this matchup. Nikki, she's trying to stop Green's advance, but Green's going to fire back. Green's bought enough time for Niven to get into the picture. Niven going to take Brie, bring her down, Saito suplex. Eyes turn towards what Green is doing now. As Niven brings in the baseball bat, clobbering the back of Brie, goes for the pin. This shouldn't get the win, in my opinion. As Brie and Nikki very much unscratched in this matchup. Now they're a little bit damaged. A kendo stick across the back of Brie from Green, gonna potentially give the advantage. There's a backstabber. And around the world, that Black hole slam from Niven as a roll-up attempt here. Niven in trouble. Forced to kick out. Meanwhile, Green's going Rough Rider. Plants Nikki. Bree going to break it up this time. Bella Buster there from Bree. Goes for the cover as military press slam onto Niven from Nikki. Thought she may be thinking Rack Attack 2.0. Green certainly thinking, I'm prettier. Plants Bree. Nikki is in the ring. Gonna break that one up. Connects onto the referee as well. Niven, Bree, both down. It's Nikki and Green standing battling. There's a choke bomb from Nikki. She takes down Green. Green pump kick connects onto Chelsea to Bree. Nikki, the only one standing. Gonna bust the leg of Niven. But a baseball bat gonna turn that tide in the favor of Green and Niven, who Chelsea is starting to go ape win. This is turning into a Green show. I'm starting to like it. That's a neck breaker. The knee driven into the back of Bree's neck. Certainly potent offense. And Green's going to chase down Bree on the outside. Rough Rider plants her down once again. That neck taking heavy impact. Niven on the inside of the ring comes flying through with a crossbody in the ring. Green unprettier plants Bree on the outside. Niven not going to connect on the inside. Nikki hooks her up. Torture rack. Bang. Rack Attack 1.0. Bree received a heavy punishment here, as has Niven. Nikki going to be forced into action. Can't break the pin up, because Niven runs guard. A Michinoku driver from Niven. Gonna stop Nikki in her tracks. Breathe. Oh! That's a sledgehammer to the back. Niven gonna stop Bree's advances as Nikki's going for a ride. Into the corner. Not gonna be a powerbomb. Instead, it's a swirly. Bree takes down Green, but she's taken down by Niven. And this is turning into the Piper Niven show. Controlling the ring, but she's caught again. On the shoulders for a Rack Attack. Planted for the second time. Nikki's going to go for the cover. Down for the count. Green is out of there as well. Only nets the 2. But it is a close 2 at that. Green hooks Nikki up this time. Unprettier connects. What's Bree doing? Currently stuck with Niven, who takes her out. Pinfall attempt here. Bree going to be out maybe. Niven trying to get the win. Almost does so. Only a 2, but Nikki. Oh, as Niven's going a bit jiggly. Because Green's hit with the Rack Attack. Nikki's a wrecking ball. She's going to take out Niven. Gut wrench. Oh my word. Nikki, just go for the pin on Green. Get this over and done with. Bree might be the one to do it right now. Nikki's chasing Niven down. There's the pinfall. Niven avoids Nikki's shots to get back in to keep this matchup alive. Green. Niven. Isolate off Nikki. Nikki able to get out of it. Schoolgirl here from Bree. Trying to steal it. And no, Nurley. Niven trying to fight back to her feet quick enough to break it up, but that was a little bit too slow. And, well, it's going to be a painful course of action as there's a Rough Rider connecting onto Bree from Green, but Nikki Bella, again destructive with all her might, takes out Green. Niven's fired up on the inside. Sizing Brie up. Hooks her up. Is Green on prettier connecting. Michinoku driver onto Brie as well. Has Niven and Green done it? The answer's no. Now they turn their attention to Nikki. Pinfall attempt on her. Down for the count. Both Bellas kicking out of two big maneuvers. And the frustration setting in for Green. She's going to bust open Nikki Bella there. Visible frustration. And can you blame her? She's landed her best shots. Nikki's not going to allow them to end it. The military press comes through. I'm struggling to see how this match ends because so back and forth, so chaotic. As it stands, one big mistake and it's it. Bella Buster from Nikki. Brie, cradle, crucifix bomb. Never no-sells it. As Brie, label lock applied. That's in deep. The S-lock, I should say. Niven breaks it up, but she isn't... Well, she's struggling to connect right now. Grabs a hold of Brie. Brie escapes her hold. Now Nikki flying through. Misses. Green gonna avoid it. That's a Bella Buster from Niven. Drills Brie into the mat and Brie's in the drop zone. For Piper, Niven's onslaught. Not going to be able to connect because Green... This is so chaotic. Niven took out the referee before. As a partner was going for the pin. Brie hits the drop kick, goes for the pin now. Slow count from the referee because it was clearly Nikki Bella who took him out. Not Piper Niven who came crashing down with a double axe. Anyway, the yes kicks. Connecting here for Brie. That's an electric chair drop from Niven on the outside. Nikki's busted open. Pinfall attempt from Brie. Gives the Bellas the victory. In an epic battle. Worthy of the co-main event spot. I've got to say it. That was pure class. Whether you like it or not, there was so many heavy shots landed. In perfect unison as well. There were moments I thought Niven and Green had done enough. There were moments where I thought Brie and Nikki had done more than enough. But they worked well, both teams together. Or as units. This moment here, both hitting their finishers. I felt that could have been it. Green had gone for the cover on Nikki. That was certainly it. But yeah, the Bella Buster. Green was sort of the punching bag for the Bellas. Oh my, this gets a replay. It's never not funny. Anyway, the yes kicks net the Bella Twins the victory here tonight in their second matchup here ever in IPW.
Here are your winners, Nick E. Bell-R and Britt Bell-R. Pretty Mean Sisters.
What a great performance here. One for the ages. You have to feel Fatal Influence. Watch this from the back and enjoyed the carnage, as did I. We shall see if this gets the Bella Twins closer to a title shot or not. But now it's main event time. And it's for the Sapphire Championship. Who walks away with the gold? Let's find out.
The following contest is a Falls Count Anywhere match and is for the prestigious Pure Wrestling Championship.
Well, this lady was victorious at Resolve, but she didn't walk out with the championship. That is something she's looking to actually do this time. No way for a count out to happen, as falls can happen anywhere in the arena or around the world. And that is something that Roxanne's looking to do here. It's become a 2 mid-card division champion. Former television champ in her own right. We've talked about that history that she has. Rocking new gear here as well. The pink and black. Certainly befitting of her. Befitting, yes, but is it gonna maybe earn her a championship? Probably not. She needs a little bit more than that if she's to beat the Irresistible Force. As the champ's in the house, looking for revenge. One of the greatest women here in IPW to compete. Outside of Henley, outside of Morgan. You look at the biggest and strongest forces in the women's division of IPW. Nia Jax has to be in that contention. When you talk top champions, there have only ever been 3. Jax, the inaugural. Henley, the second. And Morgan, the third. They make up a trio of top stars in here in IPW. Jax looking to retain again, but before that happens, we've got to have official championship introductions. Mike Rome, get into them.
Introducing the challenger. From Laredo, Texas, Roxanne Perez. And her opponent, from San Diego, California, the prestigious Pure Wrestling Champion, Nia Jax.
Well, championship introductions out the way. Will we see a new champion here tonight? This week alone, we'll have seen 3 women's championships defended. 2 of which have been successfully retained. Can a third join that picture? Or will Perez do something not many women have been able to do? Beat the Irresistible Force. Well, as it stands right now, Jax in control. She's going to keep the attack going. Military press. And you certainly notice it based off of the official introductions. Such a size disparity comes into display. Perez, comparative to Jax, very short. And that plays dividends in style. Jax considered a giant here in the women's division. Able to absorb some heavy shots from a lot of her opponents and flatten them, as she's doing right now. She misses with the elbow, though. This is Roxanne's attempt to get in the match. Hits the gut kick, but immediately flattened. And now Jax, this time, drops the elbow. Connects, and Roxanne, rethinking her attack, rolls out, but gets her. Up. Oh, my word. Vertical suplex out the ring from Roxanne. She catches Jax off guard. And this is the big thing. As you see, the referee, big man Kevin, came out with them. Pins can happen out here. That's the big difference between Saturday night and tonight. No countouts. The champion cannot get a freebie victory. She cannot retain on a whim. That advantage she has gone, and Perez gonna make her pay. Here on the outside, it's Roxanne on the attack. But Jack's now gonna turn that advantage around. Sends Perez crashing into the barricade. They're battling right in front of our announce desk. Jack's gonna send Perez back into the ring. Action returns here, and this is typically a good sign for some stars. As well, Jax needs Perez in here if she wants to get the Annihilator. That's a kendo stick shot to the gut. Perez in trouble. Pinfall attempt here from Jax. It's the champion closing in maybe on victory. She's certainly feeling good. The Prodigy struggling right now. Jax grabs a second kendo, brings it in, can't connect. Instead, she's the one receiving a whacking as Perez strikes true. Perez sent out and sent back in. Jax is quickening the pace here a little bit. Maybe not to her liking, though. Perez is keeping up. And that's to be expected. Perez, a very quick fighter. Avoids the shot from Jax and fires back with some nice leg kicks. Big shots connecting here. We typically speak about how Jax able to absorb strikes early. She absorbed some, but it's realistically not worked in her favor. First pinfall attempt here. Nets a 2, but you kind of have to look at it, and Perez has done a good job. However, she's just been flattened with that leg drop. Across the back. Hooked up. Dragged up. Stacked up. The one-legged powerbomb crumples Perez. Pinfall attempt here for Jax. Near fall there on the effort. Jax ain't done though. She calls Perez back up. Irresistible force. Crushing the Prodigy. Perez getting back up. But a bad place to be is in the corner when Jax is around. She will annihilate you. Perez. Caught. Side. Walk. Backbreaker. Keeps it going. Second. And Perez is in deep trouble, and this is the issue for her. Well, she could win on Saturday via countout, and that was basically because she landed one shot in this environment that Jax just couldn't recuperate off of. She can't use the outside now to recover, because Jax can always chase her down without that threat of a countout. But this is something that Perez is known for. Submission locked in. The crossface almost nets the victory. Perez is going to be punished off of it, though, because Jax able to break the hold. Perez getting some valuable time to recover as Jax goes hunting. Chair in hand. Misses. Perez avoids it. Now gonna hook her up. Side! Russian leg sweep. Goes for the pin this time. Usually you expect Perez to maybe turn it into a flurry of punches. But the challenger really eye on the prize. Not gonna go for the cheap shots. Instead, go for the dub. Smart on her behalf. But Perez gonna avoid another shot. That's good work from the challenger. Jax missing some big shots. Now caught up top. Hurricane Rana from the challenger. Roxy needing maybe a few more big shots here. She hasn't landed too many. This is one of them. Hitting that senton into the belly of the beast. Nets a 2. Now she may just need that one kill shot. Pop rocks may be coming. A big right hand from Jax. Gonna stop any offense that Perez was looking for. And come back with a leg drop. Crushing the back. She goes for the pin. Is that enough? No. Challenger kicks out and frustration setting in for the champion. Champion not done. Roxanne's in the drop zone. She is gonna be annihilated. 1, 2, no. Perez survives an annihilation. Jax, desperate, now setting in. Goes for that kendo stick shot, but she's caught. Crossface locked in. The challenger on the verge of victory. Wrenching him deep. Is Jax gonna tap? No. Perez relinquishes the hold, but she's not done. Jax in trouble. Sent running. Hit with the dropkick. Perez, you need to go for them pop rocks. I've got to say it. If you're to dethrone the champion, you need to hit your kill shot. Maybe a frog splash, something. You need it. Jax is so remorseless. She misses though, and Perez collides with the lariat. The champion, on wobbly legs, eats a shot. Now fires back with her own. Perez hits true as well. Back and forth with this battle. Both champ and challenger. Shot for shot. That's a big one from Jax. Perez reciprocates. Another from Jax, then landing flush on the chin. And Perez, her shot misses. Jax catches another. Perez catches one back, and the blows rain in as both ladies giving it their all. Neither win the trade. Perez, she's baiting Jax, sets her up. She's caught her off guard. Pop rocks connects. Pinfall attempt. 1, 2, no. The new champ isn't here yet. Roxanne almost had her. Jax has Perez caught in the corner. The headbutt busts open Perez, and she's in a bad place. Jax knows it. Annihilation with the Annihilator. 2, 3. For a moment, I thought the title reign was in jeopardy. Perez, I thought, had it. But Nia Jax retains in this epic battle, to say the least. Both ladies put on a showing. And it's on the up and up for Perez, I have to feel. He put in a clutch performance here against Nia. But Nia, she stood tall. She ate some heavy shots. She got locked in that crossface a couple times as well. I thought Perez had her, force her to tap. In the end, though, annihilation. The result of the battle. This bait here, I thought Perez had her. Catch Jax off guard, call for the timeout, and then hit the pop rocks. 1, 2, not even close to 3. That just gave Jax the opportunity to say enough is enough. Cause you to bleed and set you up for hell. Bang. Flatten her. Crush her. Annihilate her.
Here is your winner, and still prestigious pure wrestling champion, Nia Jax.
We say it, I feel, all the time. But who can stop Jax? Question that needs to be answered. But who has that answer? We will find out soon, hopefully. But until then, I'll see you for something special maybe this weekend.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking